So while I was going through the full list of all of my stocks and logging all the dividends of this year, I did a quick head count by country and realized that out of the 730 dividend payers that I have, only 6 of them are from Austria. But I do regularly find myself searching things like French dividend stocks or Swiss dividend stocks. So I'm going to make a short video in each country. And I did make videos a long time ago based on the country that the stocks were from. So I figured it's been about a year, even 2 years in some cases, since I made those videos, so I thought I'd update them. So these are my 6 dividend stocks from Austria. I've got 2 banks, 1 chemical manufacturer, 2 electric utility companies, and 1 basic material company in the iron and steel industry. And these are Erste Bank, Raiffeisen Bank, OMV, EVN, VERB, and Voestalpine. So the first one is Erste Group Bank. The ticker symbol on the Wiener Börse market is EBS. It currently costs €36 per share. It pays a dividend once per year. It pays 67 cents per share. The upcoming ex-dividend date is on the 13th of May, and it will be paid 2 days later on the 15th of May. So this is a savings bank in Austria. They have a total of about 2,800 branches, and these are in Austria, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Romania, Hungary, Croatia, and Serbia. They offer personal, corporate, and private banking services. It employs about 46,000 people. It was founded in 2008. It has a current market cap of about €16 billion, so it's a large cap stock. It has a healthy earnings per share of €5.26. Its price to earnings ratio is 7, and the average price to earnings ratio for Austrian banks seems to be about 6. So this is trading above average and therefore is seemingly expensive at the moment. Now their profit margin is not given, but we can see in this summary that their interest income increased 92% for the 9 months ending the 30th of September this year. Now, it looks like they're doing well. Interest income after loan loss provision has increased 25%. Their net income applicable to stockholders increased 41%. The savings bank segment increased 65%, and the Austria segment increased 58%. It has a seemingly high dividend yield of 7.3%. Their debt to assets ratio is very high, 94%, but that is very common in banks. Over the last quarter, it's about the same, 94%. Their cash flow, on the other hand, is not looking very good, all negative. That is for 2022 though, so it's not accurate at the moment. And their dividend payout ratio was hard to find an exact number, but the range that I found was between 34% and 81%, the first being great and the second being not great. Erste Bank's 52-week high is €37.37. We're quite close to that at the moment. And their 52-week low is €27.30. I started my position on the 21st of June of 2021, and I'm currently a healthy 35% up. The second is Raiffeisen Bank International. Ticker symbol on the Wiener Börse market is RBI. It currently costs €16 per share. It pays 1 dividend of 80 cents per share once a year. So they have declared their 2023 dividend, but not next year's. So I'm not sure when the next upcoming ex-dividend date is. So they're part of the Raiffeisen Banking Group of Austria, and they serve commercial customers and financial institutions in Austria and Central and Eastern Europe. And this includes the Czech Republic, Hungary, Poland, Slovakia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Bulgaria, Croatia, Kosovo, Romania, Serbia, Belarus, Russia, and Ukraine. It employs about 45,000 people, has a market cap of about €5.25 billion, so it's a mid-cap stock, has a PE ratio of 1.39, which is well below the industry average of 6. They have a seemingly high earnings per share, €11.45, and a nice dividend yield of 5%. And they look quite similar income-wise to Erste Bank. For the 9 months ending the 30th of September of this year, their interest income increased 53%, net interest income after loan loss provision increased 32%, net income applicable to common stockholders decreased 11% though, but the net income applicable to common stockholders decreased 11%. Their Southeastern Europe segment had an increase of 56% of its net interest income. They also have a similar debt to assets ratio, but as I said, it's quite common for banks to have high debt. Over the last quarter, it's down a little bit, but still 91%. And their cash flow for 2022 looks a lot better than Erste Bank's. Raiffeisen Bank was founded in 1927, so it's an old dog, nearly 100 years old. Has a 52-week high of €17.33, so it's also quite close to it, and a 52-week low of €12.65. I started my position on the 21st of June of 2021, and I'm 18.5% up. Number 3 is OMV. The ticker symbol on the Wiener Börse market is OMV. It currently costs €38.82 per share. It pays €1.26 per share once per year and has a high dividend yield at the moment of 13%. They also have a nice healthy dividend payout ratio of 36%. The next ex-dividend date is the 4th of June, and that will be paid on the 10th of June. I started a small position on the 4th of June 2021, and I'm currently about 20% down. I'm actually going to put €20 into this stock today, just to see if it will pay that 13% dividend yield. So OMV operates in the energy sector, and it's involved in chemicals and materials and fuels and feedstock. So in chemicals and materials, they provide things like fertilizers, base chemicals, and recycling plastic. In fuel and feed, they refine and market crude oil and other feedstocks, as well as marketing fuels and natural gas. In the energy segment, they explore and produce gas and geothermal energy. So they're quite large. They have 20,000 employees. They have a market cap of 12.5 billion, so they're a large cap company. They currently have a price to earnings ratio of about 3, which is well below that industry's average of 8.5, which would indicate that it's at a good price at the moment. They also have a nice earnings per share, €12.61. The summary does not look too good though. Revenues decreasing, net income applicable to stockholders decreasing massively. Energy segment decrease of 58%, so we'll see what happens. Their profit margin over the last quarter was about 5%. Their debt to assets ratio over the last quarter is about 63%, and their cash flow doesn't look too bad, but that is for 2022, so it's not quite accurate for now. OMV was founded in 1956, so it's another old dog. Has a 52-week high of €50.30 and a 52-week low of €37, which we are quite close to at the moment. Number 4 is EVN. The ticker symbol on the Wiener Börse market is EVN. It's currently €26.60 per share. It pays 50 cents per share once a year for a dividend yield of about 2%. I started my position on the 21st of June of 2021 and I'm about 26% up. The next upcoming ex-dividend date is the 6th of February and it will be paid out on the 9th of February. EVN operates in the utilities sector, in the electric utilities industry, and the company is divided into 6 segments, which are generation, which generates energy from thermal sources and renewable energies, energy trade and supply, which is engaged in the procurement, trading and sale of electricity and natural gas, network infrastructure, which is engaged in operation of regional electricity and natural gas networks in Austria, also energy supply for Southeast Europe, which operates electricity networks and electricity sales in Bulgaria and Macedonia. Then environmental services, which is involved in drinking water supply, wastewater disposal and thermal waste utilisation, and strategic investments and other businesses. They were founded in 1924, so it's another old dog, and they currently have a market cap of about €4.8 billion, so it's a mid-cap stock. They have a positive earnings per share, €1.69, and a PE ratio, or price to earnings ratio, of 15.7, which is above the industry average of 11.3. Their dividend payout ratio is sustainable at 35%, a nice profit margin over the last quarter of 28.35%. During 2023, their revenue decreased 1%, which is alright. The net income applicable to common stockholders increased 83%, but the revenue of their Southeastern Europe segment decreased 17%, along with their environmental segment decreasing 12%. Also, their Bulgarian segment decreased and their German segment decreased, so we'll see what happens. Their level of debt is good though. 44% debt to assets ratio over the last quarter, and once again the annual cash flow is only from 2022, although it was positive, and their 52-week range is between €16 and €27.5, so we're quite close to the 52-week high at the moment. Number 5 is VERB. Ticker symbol on the Wiener Börse market is VER. It currently costs €83 per share. It pays a dividend of €1.16 per share once per year. Next ex-dividend date is the 30th of April, and that will be paid out on the 13th of May. Their current dividend payout ratio is between 45 and 55%. I started a small position on the 21st of June of 2021, and I'm about 8% up. This is another electric utility company, but they're also involved in energy trading markets, and they have subsidiary operations in Germany, Italy, Poland, Hungary, and Slovenia. Their current market cap is about €14 billion, so they're a large cap stock. They have a positive earnings per share of €5.20. Their price to earnings ratio is 15.79, which is above the industry average. Their quarterly profit margin is good, about 22%, and during the last year, Their revenues increased 29%, net income applicable to common stockholders increased 86%, sales segment increase of 31%, grid segment increase of 16%, and the net income benefited from the expenses for electricity, grid, and gas decreased 7%. Their debt to assets ratio is also good, 52%, and they're also another old company founded in 1947. Their 52-week high is €89.40, and their 52-week low is €66.45. And my last Austrian dividend stock is Voestalpine. Ticker symbol on the Wiener Börse market is VOE. Currently costs €26 per share. It pays one dividend per year for €1.50. The next ex-dividend date is the 11th of July, and it will be paid out on the 15th of July. The dividend yield at the moment is 5.6%, and it has an average annual dividend growth rate of about 4%. They also have a healthy dividend payout ratio of 40%. So this is another pretty large company, 51,000 employees, and it operates in the basic materials sector, producing and distributing steel and related products. Their four divisions are steel, special steel, metal engineering, and metal forming. They have a market cap of €4.7 billion, so it's a mid-cap stock, a price to earnings ratio of 5.17, which is well below the industry average of 12.4, and a healthy earnings per share of €5.17. Looks like they've had a pretty bad time this year though. Revenues decreased 8%, net income applicable to common stockholders decreased 54%, metal forming segment decrease of 15%, steel segment decrease of 9%, and their financial costs have increased 79%. They do have a 6% profit margin over the last quarter, which is positive but not the best, and their debt to assets ratio is not the worst, about 56%. They have been around for a long time. They were founded in 1938. They have a 52-week high of €36.30 and a 52-week low of €22.76. So that about wraps it up for my 6 Austrian dividend stocks. It is a very small portion of the overall portfolio, but important nonetheless, and I will gradually make my way through all 730 stocks.